Jada Kiss and Rakim, y'all.
Yeah, Bio the North. Same shit going on. Hood to hood. I got you, my nigga. Yeah, real life ain't no movie shit. Find out what did every year and I get the movie hit. Boys in the hood ain't no menaces. It's Mortal Kombat until we finish this. Back-to-back funerals, that's what the business is. No weapons retrieved, no witnesses. Yeah, some niggas just wanna burn. It's hard to make a stupid nigga wanna learn. Then the court get adjourned. End up in a cell, casket, or urn. Your death is already confirmed. Success is already adjourned. Hate gets spread according to the wealth. How you deal with the fake is according to self. I'm from where nobody is sweet. If the kids can't eat, nobody can eat. You ain't got the heart to get out of the street. Can't win them all, but you gotta compete. My words are part of the beat. My flow's a part of the sea. Man I become is what time did. Everybody get a turn, get online, kid. It's all in the mind, kid. Grace loyalty when you find it.
That beat is dope.
Sometimes I feel like the world is a cold wind that blow against me. When I let it tempt me, that's when my soul is empty. I unfold a Dead Sea Scroll till it hit me and flow. Track more codes than Da Vinci. I wrote the book on letting knowledge spill. The shit's hard to read like the words on the down the field. I use math to design from afar like an ancient monument. The perfect line on a star. I keep my eye to the sky when I'm rhyming. That's why I'm still ahead of my time like a Mayan.
Good morning, everyone. What's today? It's hump day.
Today's Wednesday.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Warming up coffee, last seconds before we leave type shit, like everyone else does probably, running around right before you're leaving.
You need a thermal cup.
I do. Do you notice I warm my coffee up a lot?
A lot.
Because like I'll warm it up, take a couple sips, and then
Set
like,
it
I'll
down.
get to doing something, and then you come back to it, and it's like, damn. But do you notice how coffee does go cold quick?
Yeah.
You can heat it up so it's boiling, and then it'll sit there for a few minutes and it goes cold. So yeah, you're right. I do need to get one. Yeah. All right, y'all. Yeah. So how many days till? How many more sleeps now, baby? To the weekend?
2 until Friday. 3 if you consider Saturday your weekend.
3 if you consider Saturday. Oh, no, I forgot something. I hope I brought the cigarettes.
I thought I saw the little hand.
Okay. And I know we do have a lighter in the car. You know what I did? I think over a period of time, maybe both of us were doing it without realizing it. Because I always want to make sure we have a lighter in the car.
Yeah, there were 3.
Yeah. So like every time I leave, to go, I'll make sure I have a lighter in my pocket, and then so then they end up getting left in the car. Remember we got in the car yesterday and there were 3 of them on the seat?
Yeah. It was like, no wonder why I couldn't find any.
Right. And then the one that you do locate has no fire left in it.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, y'all. Tariff Day. I think at midnight today all that shit kicked in. So people be it doesn't matter if you're paying attention or not. Once you get to that checkout line, people are gonna be like, wow. Yep, so
And we watched the stock market today.
yes. Yep. You know what I don't like either is how we hate Trump just in general, but just like part of the issue with him is just like how he speaks to people. Like he was speaking to something yesterday, and he was talking about how all these countries are calling up and they're kissing his ass and all this shit. Dude, like really?
Yeah.
Like what? Like why? Like why say that kind of shit?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like just the tone. Like who does that?
Yeah.
Right. Like, isn't that something where you where you would just say, "Oh, people are calling and we're working out some things or whatever." Yep. And that's it, and just leave it at that. But to sit there and say people are kissing my ass and and they just,
So unnecessary.
it is. It's like one big TV show.
Yep. That's what it is.
It's like he's always flexing for the camera and shit.
Yep.
But like Michelle and I were saying, everything is temporary. Everything is. Some things are longer, long-term temporary, but everything is temporary. Trump ain't going to be a thing. You know, and then that's why I keep saying, like, these MAGAs, they act like Trump's going to be a thing forever. He's not going to be a thing. He's not going to be in power. He's not, like, I mean, whoever, you know, hopefully the Democrats win the presidency in 2028. So whoever it is going to have a massive cleanup to do. And they're going to have to let it be known, you know what I mean, that, like, this isn't my fault. We're coming in. The last 4 years, y'all see what Trump did. Everyone sees what he's doing and how he's fucking the country up.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be like in 2028 when the Democrat gets in there and wins. I don't want to hear everyone talking about, oh, the economy's fucked up and it's that person's fault and shit.
Right.
No, we're not going to be doing that, y'all. We are not going to be doing that. And anyone that tries to do that, check them. If they try to say, look, the new president came in and look, everything's all fucked up and shit and blah, blah, blah. And that's part of the reason Trump don't care. Because he knows this is his last hurrah. He's going to do every and anything he wants and can. And then he's going to be gone.
Did you see he wants a fucking parade for his
Yeah, he
birthday?
wants a parade and shit.
Like his birthday happens to fall on Flag Day.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've never had a parade on Flag Day. Ever.
Shit's crazy as hell.
And now he wants like this. It'll cost like $92 million.
What?
To have this parade.
Wow. That's a lot.
That's what we're spending our money on.
Right.
Come on.
Right. Yeah, so.
And whatever Doge software they implemented on the Social Security website,
Yeah.
it like crashed.
Oh, really?
The Social Security website, yeah. Apparently, like, people couldn't access their information yesterday. I don't know if they fixed it or not.
Probably not. All right, y'all. Time to make the donuts. And, yeah, just, I guess, buyer beware. Make sure you're not only, like, checking for the prices on things, make sure you're checking the dates, because now more than ever, these places are not going to be throwing away bad stuff. Things are out that are outdated. They're not getting rid of that shit because they don't want to lose the money. They don't care about people getting sick and shit.
I wouldn't either, to be honest.
I would because I'd be worried about somebody. I mean, it may sound real extreme, but I'd be worried about somebody getting sick and then my company getting sued or something. Like, I don't know that I worry like that, but like
certain things like that, you know, for certain cannot go past.
Yeah, that's true.
A date like dairy.
That's true.
Or whatever. But if it's like bread, canned goods, I'm leaving that. Somebody's buying it.
Canned goods, that's what I was saying. We should stock up on canned goods. Because even, just think about it. People don't think about it, but, well, they do. But canned goods, that's metal. So the prices are going to go up just on canned goods.
Oh, yeah, like,
you know?
aluminum, yeah.
Right, and we're thinking, you know, canned goods overall for the most part are cheap, but even that's going to go up. And people are going to be like, damn, why is this corn so expensive? Because it's in aluminum. Yeah.
Or buy frozen.
Yeah.
That lasts longer.
So people better.
You know, you can buy frozen bread.
You can. I still go by the dates. People can call it what they want, but I go by dates. To me, the date is on there for a reason. It's on there for a reason. Because if it didn't matter, to me, if it didn't matter and stuff just was just like, you could just freeze everything and it's just like, whatever, then to me, then why are we putting dates on things? Sell by, best used by, like, why even put that on a package then if it doesn't matter?
You
if
can
everything
only freeze something for so long.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
There's like this chart. It's like from Betty Crocker or something. I don't know. But it says like, you know, if you freeze ground beef, you can use it for up to 6 months or something like that.
That even sounds rough though. And I know it's being frozen, so things are, but still like with somebody eat, well, there's probably someone that does. Probably someone saying, yeah, I ate some meat that I had in my freezer for over a year.
Oh, that, no.
I bet there's people that do that, though.
I'm sure.
And they'll say it's just fine. All its frogs have been sitting in the freezer.
I mean,
it's fine.
chances are they won't get sick, but
that's crazy.
Still, a year is a long time.
So, yeah, just like in general, like why put a date on something? That's the real question, too, I'm asking.
Well, and then there's sell by and best buy.
And best used by or whatever.
Yeah.
So, to me, there's a reason for that. Because if that truly didn't matter, then they wouldn't even take the time to do that, to stamp dates and stuff on items.
Yeah.
If everything can just be thrown in the freezer.
A little hot there.
Oh, the seat warmer? You had yours on high? Yep. We're just talking about life, like I'm sure everyone else is. And we don't have all the answers. You know?
No.
How I add to the community, I have no power and control right now for people thinking like, oh, they don't ever have any solutions. I don't have no power and control. I'm on parole. I'm doing more than people that can do stuff. At least I'm spreading information. You call our little weak podcast or whatever you want to call it, but at least we're doing something.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So what are you doing, peeps? For anyone that might be like, oh, they just get on here and rant. They just complain. They don't even solutions. What are your solutions? Because how I'm contributing is by keeping myself out of trouble, working, doing what I'm supposed to do. You know what I mean? Doing all that, making good choices every day, getting off this parole. Because all that adds to a better community. That's what I'm doing right now.
All right, have a good day.
All right, baby, I love you. Yep. All right, y'all. You know what I mean, though? Because I know sometimes, and I'm not saying anyone that's listening is like that at all, but I'm saying, you know, sometimes people listen, especially, you know, if you're a black or brown podcaster or, you know, a radio show host or anything like that, and you're giving your thoughts and feelings about things, you know, sometimes white people, because their worlds are, like a lot of white people, their worlds are so different than ours. Just the things that they experience every day, the things that they do, the places they go, the people they interact with. You know what I mean? And then, you know, a lot of times they just sit there and read the news, look on their phone, or see the local headline about, you know, a gas station getting robbed or someone getting shot or whatever, and then it's just like, oh my God, Milwaukee's so horrible. No, it ain't. There's bad people everywhere, you know what I mean? Just how white people don't want, you know, they don't like when black people and brown people call them racist and stuff like that. Well, don't try to link us all up in being racist. Just because I'm white doesn't mean I'm racist. It's the same thing for us. Black and brown people say that all the time to you guys. You know? Just because little Ray went and robbed and, you know, went and robbed the gas station or, you know, or something like that, or that doesn't mean we're all like that. So take your own advice, you know what I mean? But I'm going to be honest with you, some of it, I mean, there's a lot that goes into the racism and all that, and stereotypes and classism and all that stuff. But to be just brutally honest, how I feel about it, I feel like some white people, they just don't like black and brown skin. They don't like our skin tone. It's truly that simple. They don't like how we look. They don't like how we talk, how we sound. They don't like the things we do, the things that we're interested in, the music we listen to. A lot of times they think it's just, just noise and all this kind of other shit or whatever they say. And a lot of other times too, in a lot of cases, if you think about it, and I didn't say all white people, and I'm not going to be stopping to say, I didn't say all white people, you know what I'm saying? Y'all should know that. Or just, anyone listen should know. If I say, man, white people can be racist, that doesn't mean I said every single white person on this earth is racist. Unless I say that, you know what I mean? Then don't try to hold me to that. But yeah, a lot of it just goes into that, man. They just straight up don't like how we sound, how we talk, the things that we like, the things that we're interested in. They think it's just buffoonery. You know what I mean? The energy they give us sometimes is just foul as hell. But yeah, I don't feel like ranting too much. I just wanted to talk about the tariffs and stuff a little bit. Just, just be smart when you're shopping and stuff. You know what I mean? And just try to, I know for me specifically, I'm going to try to make sure that I'm maintaining discipline and stuff like that. And not, like I was saying, like I got to go get gas today, right? So when I go get gas, I'm going to make sure, not to, grab a candy bar or, even like sometimes, like if I go to the gas station to get something, like or get gas, like I'll grab a bottle of water or something. I don't need that. I don't need that bottle of water. I mean, even though water is good for you, I don't need that. I can just drink some water at the crib. You know what I mean? I don't need to buy that candy bar, that Reese's cup. So, you know what I mean? Just because I would assume that a lot of y'all would agree with that. Just think about it. Even we'll be like, okay, like, gotta go to the store or whatever, and you'll be having in your mind, you'll be like, okay, I just gotta get these, 5 or 6 items and stuff. And then by the time you come out the store, the 5 or 6 items turned into 12 or 13. You know what I mean? And then we don't take into account, like Michelle was saying last night, the amount of food that we waste. Just all of us. Like, we bought some strawberries, and they were organic or whatever, so I believe those last a little longer or whatever. But we bought those. We ate on them for the first couple days, had a few of them or whatever. And then they ended up just, sitting in the back of the fridge, and we kind of forgot about them, and then they just went bad. You know what I mean? So I just always make sure I'm checking the dates on stuff. But yeah, like, I don't know how anyone else feels about that, but me personally, like, I don't think that all food is fine if it's thrown in the freezer and shit like that. Like, I'm not like Michelle and I were talking about. I'm not gonna, put some ground beef in the freezer and then pull it out 6 months later and act like it's just fine and fry that shit up and just start eating it. Nah. And my stomach is super sensitive too. So, and I don't know if people are up on, it's called mushroom coffee. Check that out. We bought it one time. I think I'm going to start getting it again, but I noticed we had bought it and we were drinking on it, and my stomach was not messed up at all. It was not messed up at all in the morning time. Because I think that's the culprit of a lot of people's stomach issues, like early in the morning and stuff. It could be the coffee. I know it is the coffee for me. Coffee is super acidy. And we make our coffee kind of strong too. We don't like weak coffee, you know what I mean? To me, if you can see the bottom of your cup after you done poured yourself a cup of coffee, it's weak. You shouldn't be able to see the bottom of the cup. And I don't put all that stuff. My coffee, I just like it black. You know what I mean? Yep. So, Alright, y'all, I'm going to concentrate on this road and enjoy today's episode. And we appreciate everyone that's listening. I know I say that a lot, but we really do. Alright, y'all, let's get back to this episode. I'm getting hungry. I was about to say appetite, so... Alright, y'all.
Hi, thank you for calling. This is Elizabeth. Let me help you.
Good morning. My name is David. I was calling to, I support Collectivo a lot. Me and my girlfriend drink that coffee exclusively. But we know prices are about to go through the roof today. And we were thinking about coming down there and buying like a couple giant bags of the dark Sumatra yellow elephant Collectivo. And we just want to know, is it really true like that these prices are going to be going up like today and stuff? If I come buy some, am I going to really see a difference?
No, we don't have a price increase.
Oh, really? Okay, because it's just all coffee. Coffee's going to be going through the roof because of the beans and stuff. We don't make coffee here, so it's like everyone's worried about coffee, and they're saying how it's going to be going up in price.
Certain tariffs went into effect today, but we're not taking a price increase today.
Okay, and can I just ask real quick? I mean, that's great, but what went into the thinking of that? Because I wish more people would follow suit.
Well, I mean, there could be price increasing, but we're not increasing today, so there's no emergency today.
Oh, okay, because everyone heard when they said midnight, the tariffs kick in, everything's going to be going up, so I just think everyone's out here panicking, you know what I mean? Because we all love coffee. We love coffee.
Sure, yep, those are just tariffs, so no effect with retail today.
Okay, that sounds awesome. Gonna come grab a couple bags. I really like hearing that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. Home from work, about to take Chewy outside. Chewy's our 1-year-old pug for new listeners. Hold on, bud. So, how's everyone doing this early afternoon? Yes. It's about 12:14. No, this way. Come on, this way. It's about 12:14 on Wednesday. It's hump day, y'all. Taking Chewy for his little daily walk. Got my Kamala Harris sweatshirt on. So you can see how either people, because you're going to get all kinds of different looks. You're going to get the looks like people looking at you like, ooh, yeah, you supported the right person. And then you're going to have people that are going to look at you like, look at my shirt like, why the hell did you vote for her? You know what I mean? So, yeah, I like to just test people, their body language, and just like how they look at me when they see my shirt, see if they like do a double take. Wearing my Kamala Harris sweatshirt, loud and proud. And if one of them Trumpers says something to me, I'm going to check them, him or her. Nicely though. Or as nice as I can. But, because I'm still upset with them Trumpers. I always will be upset with them. Because, the people that voted for dude, they helped fuck us over. Got us going through all this bullshit right now. Come on, Chewy. They got us going through all this bullshit. So this is just my way of saying fuck y'all. Fuck y'all Trumpers. I wish nothing but the worst for Trump supporters. I really mean that. I don't feel bad for none of them. Because it seems like some, I think it's a small portion, but I'm hearing some, of our Democrats, feel a little sorry or sympathy. You know what I mean? For them people that voted for Trump, I don't have no sympathy for them. I don't feel sorry for them. Not one fucking bit. because we spent a lot of time trying to tell them and warn them about this, and they didn't want to listen to us. So, you know what I mean? And the other part of that too, that people like don't really talk about that much, is like, dude was talking about doing all this. He tried to do it last time, but he had people in there that were stopping him from doing a lot of this shit. But now he's got everyone in there that's not gonna, you know, go against him. They're not gonna challenge him. They're not gonna be like, no, dude, we can't do this shit. This is illegal. This, that. We can't do it. Blah, blah, blah. Now, dude's just like, fuck it. I don't care. I'm doing it. And he does pretty much have the Supreme Court in his back pocket. For the most part, they're siding with like 90% of the bullshit he's doing. They're siding with him. But look at the makeup of them 9 people. I think 7 of them are white. 6 or 7 of them are white. Clarence Thomas, he might as well be white. He acts like it. Can't stand Clarence Thomas, Uncle Tom ass. Woo, that was a quick one, y'all. Yeah, we go out through the front parking lot, and then we go all the way around the side of the building and stuff, and then come around through the river walkway, and then come in through the back of the building. Yeah. All right, y'all. I'm gonna chill for a little bit and get myself cleaned up and stuff. Relax, get a little food in me, and then I'll go get Michelle in about an hour. All right, y'all. Back to the episode. All right, Chew, we got it. I'm going to throw one load of clothes in. We got enough time before we go get your mom. We got a little over an hour. All right, y'all. Back to the episode. And watch your spending. And just buy the things you need, not wants. Get the needs, not the wants. All right, y'all. So that Dave Portnoy guy, right? He's the owner of that Barstool Sports, founder and owner of it or whatever. And so I was just watching CNN, right? And he's being interviewed by Dana Bash, right? And she was asking dude, because he was like the other day, he was online and stuff like that. If y'all aren't familiar with what I'm talking about, this dude, Dave Portnoy, he does like pizza reviews and stuff like that, and I guess he owns Barstool Sports. It's like a sports app, I think, or whatever. And you know, he does stocks and all that. You know, he's all in that world, right? He says he doesn't call himself an economist or whatever. And then, anyways, so she's interviewing dude, right? Because he was the other day, he was online, like, kind of, you know, I ain't going to say going against Trump, but he was, you know, saying how he was, you know, lost $7 million and all this, and how, you know, he's upset about it or whatever, not feeling good about it. He seemed pretty pissed, right? He was just kind of going off or whatever. So he's doing this interview with Dana Bash, however you pronounce it. And she was asking dude, right? Because he's a millionaire, right? And she was asking dude, like, are you going to keep supporting him? Blah, 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 or whatever, right? He was like, yeah, you know, like, I can stand it for a while or whatnot or whatever. And then she was like, well, what about, like, to the midterms? You'll be able to stomach this to the midterms? Like, and he was like, well, if I'm losing, like, 3, 4, 5% or whatever every day and all this, then no, I won't be able to stomach that or whatever, right? And then he just started talking about, like, well, she asked him, she was like, would you support a Democrat? I'm going to play this clip. She asked him if he would support a Democrat. And he was like, yeah. He was like, I'm not all like this huge MAGA supporter and all this. I listen to the candidates on each side and, you know, and what they're saying to me and stuff like that, and I kind of vote that way, right? That's what he said. And then he went in to say, yeah, you know, he said he gets most of his hate or, you know, like negative comments or whatever from the left. First of all, let me explain that to him. So for this Dave Portnoy and for white people that like think like him or feel that way or kind of, you know what I'm saying? Kind of in the same boat as him, kind of think the same way, live the same way or whatever, right? On board with him, right? See, that's the first part where he fucked up at. And where he's just either naive or, and this is where race comes in too. And I know people hate, that's the thing, like people got to start, like we got to just, as people in general, like all of us, we got to be more comfortable talking about race. Because I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what color you are. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. I don't care, like, what you say. Race plays a role in almost everything out here. But this is where I'll get back to that. But this is where he messed up, where he's, like, naive or, like, stuff's just going over his head, right? He said that he gets most of his hate from the left, right? Or whatever, the majority of like the bad, negative comments and shit or whatever. And then he was like, this is what he said. He's like, I've been called a racist, a sexist, and all this stuff, right? All the terms, right? But dude, see, this is what he doesn't get. This is what either is going over his head or he doesn't care about it or it doesn't affect him. It's one or all of those three things and maybe some more stuff. But, like, when you say that you're getting most of your hate from the left, it's not hate. They, like someone like me, like, because when I was sitting here watching the interview, I was just sitting here looking at dude, like, dude, what are you talking about, man? You're so naive, dude. For one thing, this Dave dude, when you support Trump, we all know what Trump's about, right? Whether you're for him, against him, whatever, right? Whether you're someone that admits that he's racist, whether you admit that he's a sexist, whether you admit that he's a con man, whether you admit it or not, right? We all know it. We all are aware of the shit he does and says, right? We all know it. Some of us just admit it, some of us don't. You know what I mean? That is just a mixed bag with all that, right? But when you support him, you have to understand that you're supporting, or you have to take all of that with it, right? You're a business guy. You like money. You know, Trump's a business guy and all that, so that's probably why you navigated towards him, right? So you got to take the good with the bad. He's a horrible businessman. You can see what's going on right now. Most of his businesses have failed. Dude's been failing since the 80s. Casinos, businesses, fake online colleges. Remember that one? He had that Trump University online. That was a scam. But when you sit there and say that about, you know, the left and center, that's because people like me don't understand. Well, we do understand because you're white. Let's just break that down real quick. He's supporting Trump because he's white. Trump's a businessman. He wasn't this is my opinion about Kamala Harris. He wasn't comfortable voting for a black woman. How many this Dave Portnoy, how many black women do you have in your world that you correspond with, communicate with, text with, are entertained by? Do you watch black TV shows? Do you listen to black men? He probably listens to a little rap music or whatever and stuff like that. And the other thing, I'm all over the place. But the other thing, too, I was thinking about, right? I'm going to get back to that. But the other thing I was thinking about, too, is he, like, analyzes sports and stuff like that. And, you know, so he's in a, like, not in a way, he's benefiting off sports. Basketball, you know, NBA, NFL, all that stuff, right? He's analyzing all this stuff. He's making money off this, right? So he's making money off who are most of the athletes in these sports? Black players, NBA, NFL, right? So you'll support you'll support them on the field in a way, right? Because that's what you're into. You're into sports, right? Black people dominate sports. Why couldn't you support a black candidate? You'll sit there and say that you're gonna sit there and stomach all this Trump bullshit. That's why Dana Bash asked him. She was like, "Are you gonna stomach this to the mid?" Because she asked him, "Are you gonna like jump ship on dude?" Basically, and he was like, "No." This is what that Dave said, the Portney dude. He said that he voted for Trump and he's not going to jump ship now and all that. He was like, Trump ran off tariffs. He said he was going to do this. He literally said, but dude, did he say how he was going to do all this? Did he tell you that he was going to have Elon Musk come in? Did he tell you he was going to be firing people and stealing people's money? And did he tell you that he was going to have your Social Security number? He didn't tell me that. Dude's been lying to you. He's been lying to all of us. But my thing is, it's just like, you're making your bread off of black people in sports. But you can't support a black president. That's what I was saying, like a lot of stuff is based off experiences too. And I don't know this Dave Portney's life. He might have a whole bunch of black people in his life. I doubt it, but I'm just saying though. So naturally he's not going to support Kamala Harris. Because he probably don't have nothing black in his life. He probably don't, other than sports and maybe listen to a little rap music here and there. He looks like he might listen to a little rap music and shit like that. Maybe some Vanilla Ice or something. That ain't even rap though, but maybe some House of Pain type stuff or whatever. But anyways, the reason that you're getting all them negative comments and stuff like that from people on the left is because we don't understand. It's like we're asking you, like, dude, like, why are you supporting racism? Why are you supporting a sexist? Why are you supporting a rapist? Why are you supporting a con man and a crook? Why are you supporting someone that just doesn't want anyone black or brown in this country? Why do you support someone that won't give the Central Park Five a damn apology? Oh, and they're suing that man too, by the way. Like, why do you support someone that wouldn't rent to black people? His rental properties and all that stuff. He wouldn't rent to black people. You're okay with that? You're okay with that? And just because you're not black doesn't mean that you shouldn't be okay with that. I mean, just because you're not black doesn't mean that you have to support Trump. Y'all know what I'm saying. Because that's what you do. And that's what us people on the left are like, because that's the thing, you know what I'm saying? Like I was saying earlier, like we all know Trump's a racist and stuff like that. And that's why I say, like, racism, I'm just coming to realize that, and I can't speak for everyone and all that stuff, but it just seems like the vibe in the air, just like what's being said, what's being done, what's not being done, what's being taken away, what's being erased, all this stuff, right? Taking DEI away, banning books, like, anytime someone black or brown wants to talk about racism, white people get offended, they get upset. I didn't own slaves, all that shit. This is like, and then you have, these black and brown Trump supporters. It's just like, dude, what are y'all doing, man? You're supporting a racist dude. You know what I mean? So it's like us black and brown people, it feels like we don't have a foot to stand on. The ones of us that care about racism still, that aren't afraid to talk about it and point it out and shit. It seems like we're being squeezed out, like, you know what I mean? Because it's like, it seems like no one really can. When I say no one, that doesn't mean everyone. It's just a saying, y'all. It seems like as many people don't care about it as much. You don't have to be black to, you know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. People would be like, I'm sure some of the comments he gets and stuff are people being like, dude, you're supporting a racist and blah, blah, blah. And like, so you're hearing all this. None of that clicked. None of that hit with you. Like, damn, dude is a racist. Black people don't like that. Latin people don't like that. It makes the world uncomfortable. It makes things tense. Like, why, you know what I mean? Like, why can't you see that going on and be like, oh, man, I'm not cool with that, and then that be the reason you don't vote for him? You would still have all your stuff. You would have your $7 million. He said he's lost, he would guess probably like around $20 million or something by now, because he said he's losing money all the time. You still had that $20 million, I bet you, if Kamala would have won. I bet you that. You wouldn't be worried about none of this. You wouldn't have to be on CNN doing this interview with Dana Bash talking about your money is gone and shit. So that's why, so when people on the right, when they support Trump, right, and then they get all these negative comments and people are like, going at them, from the left and stuff like that, what they don't understand is it's just like people are upset and people are asking you, like, basically, why the fuck are you supporting a white supremacist, racist, sexist individual, bitch orange man? Why are you doing that? That's basically what those comments are. They're asking you, and people are frustrated. That's what that is. And then you can't see that. You'd rather get offended by that and call them lunatics and radical and all that shit. But you're okay with January 6th? That lets you know, like, people are, those are selfish voters, man. Those are selfish-ass voters. And then she asked him at the end, too. She was like, has Donald Trump reached out to you or gotten in touch with you? Or dude said Donald Trump don't even know dude or whatever. He don't know. I like that. She basically at the end was saying, like, you're sitting here supporting all this shit, and dude don't even know you. Ain't even reached out to you. Ain't even said thanks for supporting him. And this man literally sitting here leaking money every fucking day. Leaking millions every day. So for you to be willing to say you're going to stay on board with dude, and you're going to, and you're going to just grind it out and all that shit, and then you throw on top of that all what Trump is about, all the negative bullshit, and you're still ready, you're still willing to get in the car and ride with dude until the gas runs out and shit. There's more to that. And you can't just sit here and say, oh, it's about, this and this and that. Nah, dude. You're supporting racism. Whether you're a racist or you're doing it indirectly, you're supporting it. Every time you get up in front of that microphone and say that you're going to stick by his side and gut it out and all this, and then when you sit there and say stuff like, oh, he said he was going to run on this and all this bullshit. He said he was going to run on that, but he didn't tell you how much he was going to be taxing people. He didn't tell you that he was going to be firing people and stealing people's money, and that he was going to be having our Social Security card and all our personal information and shit. He didn't tell you that. And see, and that's the other thing, too. Like, that man dude's a millionaire. He ain't worried about no groceries. He ain't worried about no groceries. He ain't worried about no car. He ain't worried about no coffee. He ain't worried about none of that stuff. He's the type of person that just buys, like, just goes online and just see, they find what they want and they purchase it. They don't check the price. They ain't looking at the price. So when you have individuals like that, like, their worlds are so different than the person that's making $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year. That's literally living paycheck to paycheck. And paycheck to paycheck means paycheck to paycheck. Sometimes, like, paycheck to paycheck might mean somebody, you know what I mean, that's, making, their check might be, $800, $900 a check or $1,100, $1,200 a check or whatever. And then there's someone that's living paycheck to paycheck. Their paycheck might be $2,800 every 2 weeks or $3,500 every 2 weeks. But do they got kids? What are their finances? What is their situation? You know what I mean? But that's my thing. You know what I'm saying? You're saying, and then the guy is saying that, people are calling him a racist and all sex. That's because you're supporting it. You don't have to be out there calling people the N-word and saying and being all like Trump and doing and saying all the stuff he does. But when you vote for him, you got to be willing to accept all of that, man. You got to be willing to take all them comments because people are going to wonder. Because he's just out there with it. The racism, the clear, all the stuff he's doing is just clear. And when you still vote for him, and then you're out here on this microphone you're saying you're sticking by his side, dude, people are going to question you. People are going to call you a racist and a sexist because you're basically supporting all that stuff, man. Hell yeah, people are upset with you, man. You helped dude get across that finish line, man. You're part of the reason that we're all going through all this shit. You're part of the reason the gas is going up, Dave Portney. You're part of the reason that my fucking coffee's getting expensive. You're the reason that my next car that I might buy might, you know what I'm saying, cost me an extra $5,000 or $6,000. Dave Portney. You're the reason my rent's going up, Dave Portney. You know what I'm saying? You're the reason that we're considering buying canned goods, Dave Portney. It's guys like you, man. You're loaded. But you see what I'm saying? That's what Trump, not just for him, but for like all them Trump supporters, like, because there's Trump supporters that like to try to claim they're like, oh, well, I'm not a super hardcore MAGA and I'm not racist and all that. I'm just, you know, because you have the ones that try to say they just like his economic policies. But I always revert back to, like this Dave Portney guy. If he would have voted for Kamala Harris, he'd still have his $7 million that he lost, that he says he lost, or the $20 million or whatever. He'd still have that. She wasn't going to be doing none of this stuff, y'all, and y'all know that. And then he was like, oh, and do I regret that I didn't vote for Kamala Harris? No. Why don't you regret voting for her? Why not? Why? Why not? Race. That's why. Because she don't look like you. You have nothing in common with her. White adult male men, they have nothing, first of all, and that's the other thing, too, like, that Make America Great Again bullshit, that basically is just another way of saying, oh, well, we had a black president for 8 years and shit, and you know what I'm saying, the United States was more black, and then all them white people helped Obama, you know, by voting him into office and shit like that. Let's get our country back in order. That's what that Make America Great bullshit means. That's what that means, y'all. You know what I mean? They were mad. Them MAGAs and shit like that, they were mad that we had a black president for 8 years, and they're mad at all the white people that voted for Barack Obama. That's why. And that's why they hate Joe Biden, too, some of them. Because he was tight with Obama. You know, Obama and Biden, you know, they had their little issues or whatever and stuff like that. But for the most part, they were tight, you know what I'm saying, and all that. And then they don't like that Joe Biden picked Kamala Harris, you know, to be his vice president and all that stuff. They didn't like that he was fucking with black people. That's what a lot of that is, man. You know, like, they won't say that stuff. You know, some of them MAGAs will, the ones that just don't give a fuck. They'll say it. They'll call someone the N-word. They'll drive around with their swastika, you know, and all that stuff. But I'm going to play this clip, though. But that's what I was saying. Basically, like, what they have to understand, man, is when they vote for Trump, they got to be willing to accept all what comes with it, man. So when, you know, you people are calling, the MAGAs are calling us Democrats and shit, you know, all the fear-mongering and all that stuff, radical and all that stuff, that shit, that's some bullshit. I got so sick of hearing that, man. They would say that about, like, that, man. What's lunatic? What's lunatic? All right, let's play this clip, y'all.
And we talk a lot about young men as it
about 4 minutes
politics on the show, on Inside Politics. knowing your audience the way you do you think that they will stick with Donald Trump the way you are?
Just listen to what he says. Read between the lines.
Yes, I don't think people are bailing ship now. It's way too early. Now, again, I think a lot of people who follow me are interested in the stock market. I think when you hear, Wall Street, Main Street, there's a major shift that has happened, I would say, 4 or 5 years, but the average person can invest in the stock market now. Like, it's a lot harder, 20 years ago when you needed a broker. You can just go to Robinhood, log on. People are buying crypto, they're buying stocks. So it's far more intertangled, and I think a lot of people care about it, but I don't think people are jumping ship right now. And one thing that I really can't think or can't be underestimated, I even say it now, like I get more hate, and have always gotten more hate and more extreme hate from the left than I've gotten from the right. And this is before people knew what side I was on. I find the left personally far more intolerant than I do the right.
And see, now ask y'all something. That's what I was talking about. Why is he getting those negative comments? Because of what he's supporting. What he's supporting. He don't seem to he can't attach those two.
Obviously, that may be because the right perceives me as leaning towards their side. But yeah, we're really, when you say are people going to switch, people in my shoes, I really believe we don't have a spot in the Democratic Party right now. If I went through my mentions, people are calling me really, I don't post it, but nasty things like sexist, I'm racist, I'm this, I'm that. I, again, would invite anybody to go really dig into what I've said and what I've done in the past, and there's just nothing to add up to that, but the hate I get is extreme.
Yeah, well, hopefully you'll come back and we can talk about, you were discussing the Democratic Party. Right after the election, I played a soundbite of you talking about the fact that Democrats have a moral superiority complex for David Axelrod, and he's a pretty important Democrat in the party, and he said he agreed with you. So we can talk about that. Just one last question, yes or no. Has Donald Trump reached out to you since you've been talking about the tariffs?
Nope.
No. If he would come out and say, hey, we did this great agreement with Japan or Vietnam, the stock market would rip. I firmly believe that. Instead, what do you say? Everyone's kissing his ass last night. Mm-hmm. But that's Trump. That is how he speaks, and it does resonate in a way to people I'd almost rather feel like I'm getting straight talking, and I can't change. That's always who he's been.
See, that's the issue too. I know I'm cutting the video a lot, but I just want to point that out. That is a problem. When people were saying oh, well, that's just Trump. That's just Trump. It's just baked in the cake. That's just how he is. That is a problem. That thinking, that when people say that and think that way and feel that way, that is an issue in itself right there. That is part of the problem. That you're just, when you say that, you're blowing off all the bullshit that he does to people. And that's selfish thinking to me. That's those are all signs of a selfish ass voter. Just because you're rich and you got all this money and shit, the majority of people don't, man. You don't have to be poor to just all you got to really do, it's not that difficult. All you got to do is say to yourself, man, okay, I'm a millionaire, but a lot of other people aren't. Damn, if I was only making $30,000, $40,000 a year or whatever, man, I wouldn't be able to take this hit. I lost $7 million, and I'm losing millions of dollars every day and shit like that. Just imagine when someone else does that don't even have half of what I have. They can't be bearing this. Man, you know what I mean? So, you don't literally have to live in someone else's shoes or literally experience what they did to just get an understanding. All you got to do is piece it together in your mind and have some empathy. That's part of the problem, too, half the battle. A lot of these people, they don't have empathy. You know what I mean? And I'm going to say this, too, and I'll stand on it. If someone's making, I'm going to say more than about a couple $1 million a year, they shouldn't even be able to vote. Well, maybe not a couple million. It had to be maybe more than that. If you're someone that's making, I'm going to say about maybe $5 million, like, you know what I'm saying? Because if you're smart with your money and shit like that, and you're making, even if you're making $1 million a year, and you're half smart with your money and shit like that, and you just don't just frivolously blow your shit away, you're not always buying stuff and shit like that, and depending on your, even if you got a couple of kids and a wife, you should be able to live comfortably off that. You shouldn't be hurting for nothing. But I would say, not if you're a million, but if you're someone that's making like millions and millions, I don't want to put a number on it, but if you're like an ultra millionaire, where like none of this stuff really affects you, because you can complain about stuff like if you're someone that, let's say you're someone, your net worth is $100 million, what is affecting you out of all these things that are going on in the world right now? What is affecting you, like, literally, like, that is dire, just like, you know what I'm saying, where it's life or death situation? Unless you're somebody that has cancer or, you know, something like that. You're sick, you're dying, like, along them lines or something like that. But other than that, like, what are the things that are going on in the world right now? And you're just a millionaire over and over and over and over, right? Your worth is about $100 million. Other than you being sick with cancer or something like that, you're dying or whatever, other than that, all these things that are going on in the world right now, you can pretty much just blow them off and just kind of navigate around them and just chill. The tariffs ain't going to affect you. Because it ain't like people buy cars it ain't like a person's going out buying a car every day or buying a car every month. You know, it's usually like, you know, once every few years or something like that, or something happens to your car, you might have to buy one. You know what I'm saying? But cars aren't something people are just going out buying. I'm saying individually every day. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if you're a multimillionaire, the border ain't really affecting you. I mean, it could. In a situation, you know, maybe a family member, you know, like something like that, it could hit home. But other than that, like, especially you're someone that lives in Wisconsin, how's the southern border affecting you? You're a multi-millionaire. How are the tariffs affecting you? I mean, they will. You're going to have to pay more for things, but still, like, you'll be able to stand it. Versus someone that, you know what I mean, can't. They can't take the increase. Like, they can't, you know, you got a beater-ass car, you know, that you done had for like 10 years, and it's kind of slowly dying down, and you're thinking about getting a new one. Now you can't. You're like, damn, I got about 10,000, I was going to go buy a new car. They done slapped a 25% tariff on it. Like, I can't stomach another $2,500. That's a couple rent payments. You see what I'm saying? And then you're like trying to like do this money, rob Peter, pay Paul, taking out payday loans and shit like that and all this kind of shit. When's the last time a millionaire, I'm talking about a multimillionaire, took out just like a payday loan because they needed some money and shit because they ain't got none? Because they need money to buy groceries or something like that. That's what I'm saying. These people their worlds are so different. The war in Ukraine and all that and shit. You know, how is that affecting some multi-million-dollar American, some white adult male here that's got millions of fucking dollars? He can just sit there and talk about the war, critique it, say how he hates it or loves it and all this, and how we shouldn't be spending money and how we shouldn't be, or whatever, you know, and they can just have commentary on it. Why do you think white talk radio isn't really about shit? They don't have nothing to talk about. They don't have, like, dire issues where they have to talk about. I'm saying for the most part. Why do you think Jewish people don't talk about the Holocaust that much? I'm saying they do, but I'm saying why, you know, like how us as black people, we still talk about slavery a lot because we're still feeling the residual effects of that shit, right? Up until today. But for the most part, the Jewish community, they've come whole financially. I'm saying overall as a community, the Jewish community has recovered financially. That's why they don't need to be out there bitching and complaining about the Holocaust every day. Because they're squared away for the most part. They got to deal with people still being raped and saying, you know, the bullshit comments to them, you know, or whatever, and dealing with that kind of stuff. But that's it. You know what I mean, y'all? That's all I'm saying, man. People need to, like, be able to put themselves in someone else's shoes, man, just for a minute. But that's the thing. That's why I say race plays a role in stuff. Because knowing all of that, why would someone like this Dave Portnoy guy still support Trump? Because he could still have all the things that he lost, he would still have if he would have supported her. But he had more in common with the white adult male, which he is, with someone that's got a lot of money like he does. You know what I mean? So, like, this guy isn't even able, he's either not able to or he doesn't want to allow himself to get out his mental segregation and understand what being poor is like. That's all I'm saying, man. And you don't have to be poor. Like you don't have to be like some, to like understand what someone's going through. If you can start out with a little bit of empathy, that's half the battle right there.